welcome everybody to Are You Ready to Reduce Your Food Waste with the Green Dining Alliance and Recycling on the Go, or just Earth Day 365. My name is Victoria Donaldson. I'm the program manager for the Green Dining Alliance, which is a program that works with restaurants in the St. Louis area to help them be more sustainable in their practices and operations. And today we are presenting a reused portion of the reduce, reuse, and recycle food waste program. And it is with GDA certified Kitchen House Coffee. So let me give a brief introduction, and then I'm just gonna pass it along to the good folks at Kitchen House. Cool? So when Paul Wissett and David Rogers moved into their Tower Grove East home in summer of 2012, they soon found themselves wondering what they could do to clean up the derelict double lot immediately behind their home. After some quick research about how the city handles vacant lots, they were pleased to be able to purchase it from the city for back taxes owed. After demolishing one caved-in and condemned building and renovating another, they created an urban farm with backyard chickens, beehives, compost bins, and a large growing space. Research showed that the small renovated structure originally had been built as a kitchen house or summer kitchen, probably in the 1870s. They started casually referring to it as the Kitchen House, and soon the lot was known as Kitchen House Farm. In fall of 2014, they opened Kitchen House Coffee just a block away on Shenandoah with the intent that the farm and the coffee shop can be connected with the focus on three things: urban farming, sustainability, and community. Now also, we have Christy Ludenbacher, who joined the team in 2016 and now serves as general manager. Frank Howard joined in 2018 and is now the kitchen manager. They are with us today to share a few of the many ways that they try to reduce food waste in their planning, cooking, and food service. So thank you so much to the great folks at Kitchen House Coffee. I'm gonna pass the baton to y'all. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Victoria. We have been proud Green Dining Alliance 5-star members for several years now. We've been in the Green Dining Alliance for 5 years, I think, and talk about it often and how it shaped what we do at the coffee shop. So we appreciate being able to work with you guys today. Victoria laid out the connection we have between our coffee shop and our nearby urban farm. Some of the ways we foster that connection is, Victoria mentioned, we've got chickens at our little nearby farm. We've also got 2 hens right behind the coffee shop here, so our customers can actually visit with them when they visit the coffee shop. We use the eggs from our chickens, we use honey from our beehives, we use herbs, vegetables, all kinds of things from the farm here at the coffee shop. In addition, the coffee shop helps feed the farm. Every day or two, I'm taking home a big tub full of compost to the farm. It's full of coffee grounds, banana peels, eggs, kitchen scraps. All that goes in our compost or goes to help feed our chickens. And we build beautiful compost, which gives us beautiful soil, which allows us, again, to grow those herbs, vegetables, and keep that cycle going. So we very much have connected our farm and our coffee shop in that way. What we want to do today is what Victoria asked us to focus on is how we're eliminating or trying to reduce food waste in our kitchen and with our pastries and things that we serve customers. And so we've got a handful of different things we're going to show you. We're not in our kitchen because we don't have the best Wi-Fi connection back there, so we're down on the shop floor. And we're going to let Christy and Frank be the leads. And I should introduce David. He's here to my right. So I'm Paul. This is David. We own the coffee shop and live nearby, a block away where our urban farm is. And you met Christy, our general manager, and Frank, our kitchen manager. And they're going to talk you through several of the things we came up with on how they're making sure to keep our waste in the kitchen as low as we can.
Hi. I think we're going to start with our scones here. The scone that we have in our case currently is roasted red pepper, bacon, scallion, and Munster cheese. The way that we're sustainable with it is that the bacon fat that we make every single day for bacon that we offer on our sandwiches and stuff, we freeze that, and then we turn that into, we use that in place of butter for the scone. So if you can pan the screen down at all, then you can see this big chunk here, which is actually just frozen bacon fat. If you use a scale at home, you can weigh it out. We do 100 grams per batch. It's like roughly the same amount as a stick of butter. And it works the same way. You could use it for biscuits or any other flavor of scone that you ever wanted to try.
And Christy, you said per batch of scones. How many scones is in a batch?
8. 8 per batch, and about 100 grams of bacon fat per batch. And that looks like this. So it's not a whole lot. It's basically the same amount as a stick of butter. And you're just going to use it the same way that you would.
I'm going to guess that also cuts down on our grease trap cleanings.
Yeah, I would assume so. Definitely. Showing it to herbs. I'll just give you this if you want to skip that step. Nice. Okay, so one of our most popular pastries right now is this jumbo peach basil muffin. The basil on top is from our farm, and then to incorporate the basil flavor throughout, we make this infused basil oil, which is a great way for you to preserve any herbs that you think might be on their way out. You're basically just going to blend it up in a blender for a long time, heat it up on the stove for a minute, and then just get rid of any of the sediment. So we just use this basil oil in place of regular oil in this recipe.
So Christy, another thing you and Frank did to preserve our basil from the farm is, what else did you do recently? A pesto that we were...
Oh yeah, we made a pesto with the basil and the carrot tops from some carrots that we were...
And we do a basil sugar as well.
Yeah.
Like candy basil. Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody who's got lots of basil in their garden that you think is on its last legs, making some pesto and freezing it, making some basil infused oil and storing that.
And then this is a latte syrup. Right now we're doing rosemary instead of basil, but you're basically just going to make a traditional simple syrup, equal parts water and sugar, and let whatever herb you'd like boil in that for about 5 minutes. And then you're going to let it sit overnight and strain it out in the morning.
So that rosemary syrup, that's for lattes and flavoring coffee drinks here at the shop. We were also just recently doing a lavender blueberry syrup, also with lavender from the farm.
Which was the same process, just making a simple syrup, letting those herbs steep. If you wanted to do a rosemary oil, you would do it the same way as the basil, just let it sit in a blender. And then, yeah, you can do it with any flavor you'd like. Here we have chive blossoms, which are really just edible flowers that you could put on top of anything, but they're also really good for infusing oils or vinegars. And yeah, if they're on their way out, starting to go bad, just throw them in some vinegar, let those infuse in there. You can make the same type of oil with that as well. This is some basil from our farm too. A lot. We've been doing a lot with basil.
We've got a whole bed full of basil, so you're going to see basil in the shop for a while.
Yeah, I hope that's okay.
Where are we headed?
Yeah, exactly. And then it could be done the same way. Oh, yeah. And then, yeah, to make them last longer while you have them, if you keep them in a cup of water like it's a vase of flowers, rather than just like storing them in your fridge or something, your herbs are going to last a whole lot longer.
So?
We scroll down to the Is that blocking anything?
I don't know.
Was there a question, Victoria, or
Okay,
did
I
you want
won't
us to
say
jump
anything.
in?
I just thought I would be like, hey. I
Yes,
mean,
we did have a
background's
quick
so
question,
short, so
but
I kind of know
could
this.
our
I was like, maybe I'm
participants
wrong,
please
but
mute yourselves while we're doing the
I
call?
promise I won't say anything.
And we did have one question
You have
from
my word.
Maggie that said, can something similar been done with mint as with basil or rosemary? She said, my mint is out of control. I can only make so many mojitos.
Oh, so is mine. I so wish I'd contained it in some way. Yeah, it's spreading over a huge area of the farm. So, yeah, anything they come up with that involves mint, I am all for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can definitely make like basil oil or mint oil or mint simple syrup the exact same way as we do both of those down there.
All right, what do we have next?
Okay, next up we have avocado brownies. We do avocados in house all the time, but you know, avocados have a pretty short shelf life. So once they start being on their way out, where they're getting kind of brown or they're just like not in great shape, you can use those in any number of vegan recipes in place of fat. You can make mousse, like a chocolate mousse with them I've seen people do, but what we do here is a brownie. So this is a vegan brownie. We also went ahead and made it with gluten-free flour. These brownies will be in our pastry case tomorrow. I'll go ahead and cut them and let you know what they look like.
So we started doing these, we're just reintroducing them, but we did them, what was it, about a year ago, you guys? And they were crazy popular. And I got to say, I was someone who was kind of grossed out by the idea of avocados going into chocolate brownies, but they're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So they're really chocolatey, really.
They're dense, yeah, they're tasty. They're super soft because of the avocado. And then, yeah, we usually just top them with some powdered sugar. Just throw these in the case like that. Super cute. There's a little vegan gluten-free brownie for you. Made with avocado that we would have ordinarily thrown away because, yeah, we wouldn't put that on your sandwich.
So we're primarily ordering the avocado for our bagel sandwiches.
Yeah, the super good sandwich it comes with, you can also add it onto anything. Anytime I eat a bacon, egg, and cheese from here, I definitely put half an avocado on it.
We recently got a case of avocados where several of them were kind of smashed up, and we thought, well, okay, that's going to work for the brownies,
Yeah,
right?
so here they are.
Yeah, otherwise those would have been tossed or returned.
Yeah.
All right, what up next?
I don't know. Yeah, we can try with the bagels.
All righty. So you guys should know that at Kitchen House Coffee, we do make our bagels in-house, and we've been getting a lot of attention for them. We haven't done that always, so if you haven't visited us in the last year and a half or so, you haven't had our house-made bagels, but they're pretty amazing, and we give people a choice of plain or everything bagels. Christy and Frank are going to tell you some things we do, and we've got some bagels that didn't sell within the time we would serve to a customer. We've still got some options to make sure that that doesn't just become trash.
So some of those options are bagel chips that we did last year sometime.
Yeah, we had it on a brunch menu and we served them with hummus.
We also catered a couple parties where I think we did bagel chips, right?
Yeah, so you're just gonna thinly slice the bagels and then toss those in oil and then throw that in your oven for a little while. And then those should be good for several days after that, even though the bagel was on its way out. They'll still be good once you preserve them in oil like that. And then you can jump back to like our basil oil that we made, or if you made rosemary oil, you could toss it in that rather than just regular oil and add more depth of flavor to it. We recently made a panzanella salad and served it on the menu here. So that was the same thing, just like some plain bagels that were on their way out. So we cut them up, tossed them, and turned them into a salad.
Now, I had never heard of a panzanella salad before, but apparently this is a defined thing, and maybe everybody on the call knows what it is. But because Christy had been saying she'd been wanting to make a panzanella salad for the longest time. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Basically, a crouton, so we have
yeah.
Okay.
If you want to grab my computer over there, I actually pulled up the photo of it if we can show the computer to the computer. So this was the one that we did, which was all stuff from our farm. There's a bunch of fresh herbs. There's peaches, cucumber. I think there was onion and then tomatoes, and then just our bagels there. So you can really do it with anything. If you Google panzanella salad, everybody has their version of it.
And the greens in this bowl are fresh on the farm as well as the carrots. And
Those are chai blossoms too. Here's some cute flowers from our farm too.
Once we're seating customers inside again, then we'll go nuts with little table bouquets.
Yeah,
That was fun last year. All right, are we down to our monkey breakfast? Or what's next? Okay.
I think this is it.
All right, I got to tell you, this is it. Oh, the monkey breakfast.
This is the last thing.
Good, that's good. As a coffee shop owner, it didn't take long to realize how expensive coffee beans are and how much of your cost is in purchasing coffee beans. We use a couple of local roasters and we roast some of our own. We use Blueprint for our espresso beans, and we're very precise in the way we pull coffee and the way we present it for our espresso beverages. So we weigh every shot, we measure every shot. Our baristas are very carefully trained. And if a shot is even just a little bit off, we don't serve that to a customer in an espresso beverage. And that leads to a lot of waste. And believe me, as one of the folks buying those beans, it pains me to see the espresso thrown out and those coffee beans wasted. However, we also do a couple of smoothies that have espresso in them. Now, when you're making, and the smoothie in particular we're going to talk about, we call a monkey breakfast. It's got bananas, yogurt, honey, oat milk, peanut butter, and espresso. So if that shot didn't weigh perfectly or didn't pull exactly within the seconds parameter that we're looking for, rather than throw that out, this team came up with a way to help us with making our monkey breakfast smoothies and save on some waste. So I'm going to let them tell you about it.
so as well as the espresso dancing, we also use honey from the bees. And we also make oatmeal in-house.
Good point, Frank.
That's true.
And by the way, our beehives this year, we only have 2 hives. And usually the honey that we're able to pull in the summer from our beehives, it doesn't last us all year. It's fun. We sell a little bit on retail. We use it behind the counter. And usually by December or January, we're out and we have to start buying local honey again. Well, I've been happy in the past with pulling 40 or 50 pounds of honey. This year so far, we've gotten 175 pounds of honey from our 2 beehives. And it's amazing. So we are selling it on retail and using it in the drinks and the food that they've been talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to be buying local honey for a while this year, which has been quite fun. All right, so back to that monkey breakfast, though.
So here we have our monkey milk jar. That's what we've been calling it. This is also a reused jar. We get our organic apple juice in these, and we use them for everything in the coffee shop. I had somebody put me a shot here, so this is our shot of espresso, and I'll just put it in there in the mornings when I'm dialing in espresso. If it's not an exactly perfect shot, that's what we do, and then we just take our oat milk here that we make in-house, and we'll do equal portions. And that'll just mix right in here with this milk. And then we'll store this in our smoothie fridge with all the other stuff. As far as the smoothie goes, it's a full banana.
And I'm going to take that peel home to my compost.
Yes. And then we've got some organic vanilla yogurt. We've got peanut butter. We'll do a dollop of our honey here. And then it'll be 4 ounces of our monkey milk. Which is what we just made. And then some ice. And now it's gonna get loud. We also will make monkey milk throughout the day. Like if somebody orders a half-pack latte or something, that's just 1 shot as opposed to 2. Ordinarily, we would just throw that other shot away. But if we just mash it with 1 ounce of the milk, we can add it to our monkey milk for the day.
Lovely. And if there's anyone like me who's lactose intolerant, I replace the yogurt with a half banana and add whey, and it is delicious.
Yeah, we're happy to make your smoothies for you any way you'd like them. You can also add half avocados to that, or go through our add-ons menu to see if there's anything else you want in your smoothie too.
Victoria, I think that's all we had planned to demonstrate, but we'd be happy to field any questions people have.
Yeah, well, let's take a moment to answer any questions that any guests may have. You can leave them in the group chat or in the Zoom chat. If you're on Facebook, you can leave it in the comments, and then we can answer them right away. The examples that you all gave seem very, just from my view, it seemed very simple and not so complicated. That yeah, it is something that I could do at home. Like I have some bagels that I've like kept in the freezer trying to preserve them, but now they're getting like frostbitten. So now I can make like bagel chips and eat it with hummus. So it's really cool to see these different examples that I've honestly never considered, and how that like I can do this at home as well as anybody else. So, and I feel like I'm like the novice of like really being experimental and like coming up with different ways to repurpose my food that may be going bad. So this is great. Thank you all so much for that. Any questions from any guests that are watching? Let's see. Let's give it a minute.
I could talk a little bit more about, for example, what's that?
I was going to say, you all do a lot of just work, you know, between the farm and the storefront that repurposes like foods, like you said, to like feed the chickens or to like make something new in the kitchen. But what else do you all do that is aiding actually your farm versus going to like repurpose and reusing food items?
Yeah, that's kind of right where I was headed. So I showed you those compost bins I take home to our compost, which of course helps enrich the soil. We do similar stuff to so that what would otherwise be thrown out or composted can actually help feed our chickens. Chickens need a lot of calcium because they're producing an egg every day, and eggshell is all calcium. So that's a wonderful food source for our chickens, and we're breaking a lot of eggs back here in the kitchen. So we periodically will rinse out those eggs and bake them for a little bit in the oven, and then I crumble them up and feed them to the chickens, add it in with their other food that I'm giving them. And it's a natural source of making sure they're getting a lot of calcium. The reason to bake them and crumble them up is you want to be sure that chickens don't get a taste for eating their own eggs. That's a habit that can be very, very hard to break. So if you bake those eggshells and crumble them, the taste changes and they're not seeing that egg shape. So it's not going to lead them to start looking at their own egg in a way that they shouldn't. So that's one thing we do. Every now and then when I'm dumping compost into our compost bins at the farm, I just kind of rummage through it and pull things out that the chickens want. We also have a few chickens that just help themselves by hopping in the compost bin, and I don't discourage that. So yeah, some of our food waste does go to care for our livestock at the farm. And here, right? We got the girls out bag.
In-house.
Go grab one.
When we have guests in-house, anytime they don't finish like their side of cream cheese for their bagel or something, these girls love it. They just eat it all day. Or if somebody orders a salad and doesn't finish it, like we just throw the rest of it out there for them.
And we've got some pretty fat chickens because of it, cream cheese in particular.
Yeah.
I think Alyssa's going to bring one of our chickens in.
This is Marie.
You want to say hi, Marie? Get around the... she's quite popular on our social media. Some of you may have seen her before.
I think I've seen Marie before too.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
So we did have a question in the comments. It is, what has been your favorite menu item created from repurposed or reused foods?
That custom cream cheese that we did last weekend was super popular, and that was just a whole lot of basil that we had left over and a whole lot of carrot tops, basically. That one was really good.
The Presidella was probably my favorite because everything was fresh from the garden or made in-house.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That one was good.
So my question, I'm sorry, go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I might have to vote for that avocado brownie.
I know we talked about that before this, program, so I figured that would probably be your favorite. So my question with that is, how often do you all repurpose food scraps from other foods to make, other dishes for your menus? It seems like you all are very creative.
As much as possible. Anything that we don't compost or that's not bad, we'll try to find something to put in for specials during the weekend or.
I'm glad Frank said specials because I did want to mention that. We have kind of started making it a habit to have weekly specials. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but that's usually because you've got more of something than we might otherwise need. So we're like, let's just come up with a new sandwich. Or
if we have like an overabundance of stuff at the farm.
Definitely try to make a dish.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, so we're gonna see if there's any more questions in the chat. And all right, we got one. Do you all have any tips for storing and using extra fresh cheeses and dairy products?
Storing extra fresh cheese?
I mean, that you can do in the freezer.
Yeah, depending on how fresh we're talking, like if it's made at home, you definitely want it in a cool area. A dark, cool area, so that the mold ages right. If we're talking about that type of cheese.
But if we're talking about like cheddar or Swiss or something from the store, as long as you wrap that up really well, you can store it in your freezer for a long time.
So the freezer doesn't cause any like frostbite quick or anything of that nature to cheeses?
You're just going to want to make sure that you wrap it really well with plastic wrap and label it what it is and date it so that there's no confusion later when you get back down in your freezer.
Gotcha. Kind of like the standard like freezing tips that you have for like.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions in the chat or on Facebook, of course? And is there anything else that you all would like to share just in general about Kitchen House Coffee? Like, when you all open and what are your service options?
Yeah, absolutely. So things have changed. We did shut down for a few months. We tried just doing curbside pickup for a while in March and eventually closed late March until we reopened June 6th. Initially with some pretty limited hours, but right now we're still not back to full time, but we are open every day from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are at 3149 Shenandoah, which is just off the corner of Shenandoah and Compton. We still are not seating people inside, but we were able to expand our front patio. We worked out a nice deal with our neighbor, gym next door, the Take Action Gym. And they had a nice large patio, and we already had a nice patio, and we've been able to expand across to their patio as well. So we can spread out and seat a lot of people on the patio, and of course still do curbside takeout. We've created a new online store, which has been incredibly helpful in efficiently serving people. So If you want to find our store, you can go to kitchenhousecoffee.com, and there's a link there to get to our online store. So I'd say more than half of our orders right now are coming in through the online store. And then other people, we do allow folks to come inside and order. We just let one party in at a time, and we do require that folks ordering in person wear a face mask.
We also have a fabulous online store where there's photos of most things, and you can order anything you'd like ahead of time, and as soon as you get here, it'll be ready. We're glad you love us. You're welcome.
And honestly, though, traffic has been really nice. We've all been quite pleased. Almost every day since we reopened June 6th has been better for us in terms of revenue than the same day last year. So customers have been very appreciative and welcoming since we reopened, and we're grateful for that.
Awesome. I was actually going to ask you, like, how has the reception been since the pandemic started?
Yeah, it's been very nice. And we do, you hear horror stories from small business owners having to fight with customers about safety precautions and masks. We experience none of that. Our customers have been terrific. They understand, and they're appreciative that, everyone's jumping through the hoops that they are right now so that everyone can stay safe.
Cool. And everybody loves you, apparently. Everything is always so good, Kara says. The Pop-Tarts are the bomb. And of course, Bob said he loves you all. And of course, I love you all, per usual. Paul, you're always great and always been such a beacon of greatness when it comes to GDA members. And I just appreciate y'all.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So let's see again if there's any more questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up and, call it a program. All right.
All right.
So any other questions from any other viewers, again, on Facebook or through Zoom? Let's see. And I know you all have like social media links. So like, where can they follow you? Like, what's your social media tags and so on?
Yeah, we're on Instagram at Kitchen House STL, and Facebook. If you just search Kitchen House, you'll find us, Kitchen House Coffee. And we're not. We have a Twitter account. We're not too active on it, but we do monitor it, so you can find us there.
All right. So it doesn't look like there's any questions, which means I'm going to turn on my video again. All right. So I think that's it, you all. Thank you all so much. Again, Kitchen House, you're the best. I will always be in touch with you.
All right. All right.
But, yes, thanks you all.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. This was just the second portion of the Are You Ready to Reduce Your Food Waste programs. We will have our third and final program tomorrow at noon, which will feature Margaret Lilly of St. Louis County Department of Public Health. She will be discussing how you can reduce your food waste before you have to throw it away or before you have to recycle it or repurpose it. So we'll have that tomorrow at noon. And also, of course, a little formality, thanks to Project Clear, thanks to the St. Louis Jefferson Solid Waste Management District, and also thank you to the Department of Natural Resources for allowing these types of programs to happen through Earth Day 365. And thank you again to everybody who was able to join in and participate. This video will be available on Facebook, and it will also be available on our website at earthday-365.org. And yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow at noon. Thanks again, and have a great day.